You do everything you're supposed to do. You work hard. You pay your rent on time. You contribute to your 401k every single month like a responsible adult. You follow all the rules. Yet the dream of owning a home, of having a small piece of this country to call your own, feels more impossible every single day. You watch home prices in your area skyrocket. You see houses you could have afforded just 3 years ago sell for $100,000 over asking price. You are doing the right thing, but you are still losing. For years, we've all been fighting a common enemy. It isn't a person, it's a broken system. A real estate market with no inventory, bidding wars that feel like a casino, and financial gurus who give you the same tired advice that hasn't worked for a decade: just save more. It's a system that makes you feel like a failure for not being able to overcome an impossible situation. But here is the revelation. What if the most responsible piece of financial advice you've ever been given, always save for retirement, is actually the very thing holding you back from buying a house right now? What if, for a short season, the most radical and aggressive move you could make is also the smartest? Today, I'm breaking down what is arguably Dave Ramsey's most controversial money rule ever, a rule that makes traditional financial advisors gasp. I'm not just going to tell you what it is. I'm giving you the 3 non-negotiable laws you must follow if you even think about trying this. This is the scorched earth strategy for winning a down payment in a market designed for you to lose. So here is the challenge. If you're looking for an easy button or a government handout, this video is not for you. You can click away. But if you are sick of watching your dream of homeownership slip through your fingers, and you are willing to make a temporary, calculated sacrifice to secure a permanent piece of your future, then you need to stay. Because this changes the game. Law number 1, the pause law. The first and most foundational law in this strategy is this: for a temporary, focused, and intense season, you have permission to pause your new retirement contributions and redirect that financial firepower directly at your down payment fund. I'm talking about your 401k, your Roth IRA, all of it. You press pause on sending them new money. Think of your monthly income like an army. For years, you've been sending 15% of your troops to fight on the main front, which is your retirement. That's the long, slow, grinding war for your future. But right now, there is a single, critical fortress you must take to win the next phase of your life: the down payment. The pause law is about giving a temporary order for all of your troops, all of your air support, all of your resources, to launch an overwhelming assault on that one single fortress until it is conquered. I remember a young couple, Marcus and Emily. He was a software developer, she was a teacher. They were diligently saving 15% of their income for retirement, like they were supposed to. But they were watching their dream of buying a home evaporate. Their rent went up $600 in 2 years, and every house in their price range was getting 10 offers. They felt completely hopeless. They decided to take the radical step. They paused their retirement contributions and redirected that $1,800 a month into a separate high-yield savings account labeled House. It felt wrong. It felt uncomfortable. But they watched that house fund grow at a shocking speed. In just 18 months of this focused assault, they stacked up over $32,000. It was enough. They bought a home. They didn't abandon the war for retirement. They just launched a strategic, all-out special operation to win the battle that mattered most right now. Temporarily redirecting your savings isn't abandoning your future. It's aggressively securing a critical piece of it. Law number 2, the do not touch law. This next law is not a suggestion. It is a commandment written in stone. You never, ever, under any circumstances, withdraw, cash out, or borrow from your existing retirement accounts. The money that is already in your 401k or your IRA is sacred. It does not exist. It is a locked vault that you do not have the combination to. Think of your existing retirement fund as a young oak tree you planted a decade ago. It has deep roots. It has survived storms. Its growth is compounding, becoming more powerful every single year. Pausing new contributions is like temporarily stopping the watering of new saplings around it so you can focus on building a greenhouse. That's fine for a season. But withdrawing from that account is the equivalent of taking an axe to the trunk of that 10-year-old oak tree to use it for a little bit of firewood. You destroy a decade of growth and kill its future potential, all for a tiny bit of short-term heat. The damage is irreversible. Let's talk about a guy named Daniel. He had $50,000 in his 401k. He got impatient. He was tired of saving and saw that 50 grand as a shortcut. He ignored the warnings and cashed it out to get a down payment. The results were catastrophic. He immediately lost $10,000 to the early withdrawal penalty. He lost another $12,000 to income taxes. His $50,000 nest egg became $28,000 in his hand. He bought a house, but he had reset his retirement clock to 0 at the age of 35. He sacrificed hundreds of thousands of dollars in future, tax-protected compound growth for a tiny head start. It was a fool's bargain. Your existing retirement fund is a locked vault protecting your 70-year-old self. You must treat it with that level of respect. Law number 3, the deadline law. The third and final law is what separates this from being a brilliant strategy and turns it into a catastrophic mistake. This strategy must have a non-negotiable, non-extendable deadline. This is a 12 to 24-month sprint. It is not a 5-year marathon. It is a temporary, emergency-level state of focus, and then it is over. Think of this strategy as the financial equivalent of holding your breath underwater to swim from one side of the pool to the other. It is an effective way to cover a short distance quickly. You can do it for 30 seconds. You can maybe push it to 60. But if you tell yourself you can just hold your breath for 5 minutes, you are going to drown. Pausing your retirement contributions is holding your financial breath. It's cutting off the oxygen of compound growth. It is a calculated risk that is only safe and effective when done for a very short and specific period of time. Let's go back to Marcus and Emily. The month after they closed on their house, after the moving boxes were unpacked, what do you think they did? They immediately turned their 15% retirement investing back on. They didn't say, well, we have a mortgage now, let's just keep pausing it for a little while longer. No, the mission to take the fortress was over. They immediately redeployed their troops back to the main front. They had a deadline, they hit it, and they immediately returned to the proven long-term plan for winning the war. They didn't let a temporary detour become their new, permanent, and destructive normal. A short-term sacrifice for a specific goal is a strategy. A long-term sacrifice with no end date is a catastrophe. Part 3, the closer. So let's recap this radical plan. Law number 1, the pause law. You can temporarily stop new contributions. Law number 2, the do not touch law. You never withdraw your existing funds. And law number 3, the deadline law. You do this for a maximum of 2 years, and then you stop. Look, the financial world we live in is not the one our parents grew up in. The old rules don't always apply. Buying a home, the very bedrock of building wealth and stability in this country, has become an almost impossible hurdle. This strategy isn't reckless. It is a calculated, aggressive, and strategic response to an unprecedented financial battle. It's about choosing to fight one battle at a time with overwhelming force so you can win. So here is my challenge to you, the one step. Not to like, not to subscribe. A real action. I want you to open a calculator on your phone right now. Pull up your last pay stub and find your monthly take-home pay. Now, calculate 15% of that number. That is the amount of financial firepower we're talking about. Now, multiply that number by 24. Just look at that total. That is the potential size of the army you could deploy to attack a down payment over the next 2 years if you chose to. Don't do anything yet. Just know your number. Confronting that number, seeing what's possible, is your first step from feeling hopeless to building a real plan. Take it now.